Hello again, everyone. Deflect here, Firm but Fair Gaming. It is weekly reset, and the reset is like going to be 8 hours. So I thought I would do a little video on currently what I think is going to happen after reset. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of flack from people saying, "No, no, I'm crazy," and all that shit in the comments below. But hey, why not? I don't think I'm crazy, and I think you'll see it in the end here. So. This is the current tank kind of meta. You can kind of look at it like this. They have Bear down here, but Bear's actually winning 1-for-1 at the top. So I couldn't really put Bear behind. This is just old. Um, really, if you want to go to it, 3441 is prop Paladin. Warrior, who they have in S tier, is 3343. And then Druid, because they don't log, 3354. So I couldn't very well space him out when the top IO is a bear. That just seemed crazy to do, but hey, some people do because the rest of them. And you know what? That's fair too. Anyways, what I wanted to get into this video about is the crazy amount of changes Prot Paladin is going to go through. And I guess my tier was a little off. I guess it looks like... Oh, that's just right. There we are. Prot Paladin in the middle. Brewmaster last place, and then all in the same line. What I think is going to happen, and this is where everyone's gonna go, yeah, you're nuts, you don't know what you're talking about. Actually, wait and see for the end of the season. Prop Paladin is going to jump to either here or here. I haven't decided which. It might even surpass Bear if you're gonna go by overall number of pallies. And there's a couple reasons for it. Number one, every other spec only has one technical interrupt in the game. Prop Paladin's Avenger's Shield counts as an interrupt, so it will reset the casting cycle of a mob. Insane benefit for Prop Paladin. What was their issue? They were dying too much. They are going to be quite a bit tankier, which also should move it there. They also, if you go by Archon, have the highest crazy damage in the game as well. Oh, their damage is getting buffed. Let's just go to Prot Paladin real quick. Prot, a 6% overall damage increase. This is in development. You're removing one of the talents, which was a plus 10% standing in your concentrate. So the Shield Righteous is only an actual 10% buff, not a 20. And World of Glory is actually a 10% buff, but not a 20. It's still going up 20%. You're getting 20% base armor. Or sorry, 10% base armor. You now get the Shield of Righteous damage increase by 20% on top of your 6. Hammer of Justice cooldown by 10. Judgment by 10. Cooldown of Hammer of the Righteous by 10. Innermost Light cooldown reduction increase to 33% was 20. And these are now 1 talent points. This has been removed, which was the benefit to Consecration. But yeah, it is going to be insane. Red damage increased by 6% was also great. Yeah, it is going to be nuts that Prop Pally is going to just, I think, skyrocket in value, and that is due to their fact everything now in Mythic Plus is about crowd control. And they have the best now crowd control in the game. The DH dropped off, and they are now getting to be tankier and tankier. There's a whole list of other stuff that Pallies are getting too. Don't forget about that. Here's a whole section of new talents they're getting and all that fun stuff. So there is going to be some great things going on with the Pally. And like I said, I think they're going to jump up here. And there is a slight nerf coming to Prop Warrior. It's not huge. It is about a 2% nerf, I believe. It's just changing one of their talents to be Thunderous Roar. Now damage reduced beyond 5 was 8 targets. So it's a small little nerf, but it is a nerf nonetheless. I don't know if it's enough to drop them out of first place, but Pally sure is going to jump. And depending on how you look at it, if you're looking at the top 40 Paladins versus top 40 Druids, I think it's going to pass it. If you're only looking at the top Paladin, I'm not sure because the top Druid is just cranking right now. So, anyways, how does this play out? Well, The top Paladin right now is Yoda, and he is incredible at Paladin. Unbelievable. And the top warrior right now is Kira. Kira also plays, I think, a bunch of other tanks. I believe they were one of the top DHs as well. But they have almost 100 and what 114 IO higher than Yoda. So will he be able to catch them? I think it's going to be crazy how much this is going to change it. Um, Going into like if you want to look at some of the logs, it doesn't really compare the same because Yoda and Kira were different item levels when they had the logs. Like if you look at a 13 caught for each of them, like the damage they were doing at 621 was a low item level, but they were still doing almost 700k. And you look at Yoda, he was blasting at 628 and doing 910. So just cranking damage as Paladin. And their healing was pretty good, 458 for Yoda in the key, and Kira at the 13 was 350. Not that you have to do a ton of healing, you know, if you have a healer, you have everything else. I'm just saying we're just going with tank perspective here. So, yeah, it is going to be absolutely insane on this where Prot Paladins might end up. I wonder if I have any more keys I saved up here. How about Yoda doing a mist 14? He was 627 item level, 440 for healing, as well as doing 1.41 for damage. Just nutty. Kira again was doing 520 for healing, so huge healing. This was on a 14. They again were lower item level. Like let's also mention that because that is definitely a thing. But yeah, they did 834 for damage. So, you know, timing is a little bit different, you know, 29 minutes versus 26 minutes. Overall damage is 6.6 versus 6.9, but it was still insane done by what is supposed to be the one of the worst tanks currently. So I just want to point it in perspective. They're not doing bad right now, and they are getting a whole lot of buffs coming up. So if you take something that not only has some of the most is the most interrupting tank in the game, has group utility like Bop and Sack and Lay on Hands. Lay on Hands is changing though. That is a note there. They are changing what Lay on Hands does and you know the benefit of stuff, but you still have group utility like that. You have the shield, which can interrupt. You can basically solo any mob by yourself, interrupting, and maybe two, depending on their cast timers. Is just insane. Pallies are not the most mobile tank, which is a strike against them. Warriors are a lot more mobile than they are, but Warrior getting, you know, 2% nerf and Pally getting buff. They're not only getting their damage buff, remember, they're getting their healing buff too. Word of Glory is going to be doing more healing, and they should be doing quite a bit more damage with that 6%, and then a bunch of their cooldowns reduced by 10. And their survivability is getting increased. So you're just getting benefits all around for Prot Paladin, and you're going up against Prot Warrior, which is ever so slightly nerfed. So I think there will be a change. It just is how far is this class going to jump? My prediction at the end, I think it's going to fall slightly behind Prot Warrior in the end, just because there's so many Prot Warriors out now, and I don't foresee a ton of Prot Warriors switching to Prot Pally. Like on the first page, your top 40 is still over 3k, but your top like Warrior is going to be probably over 31 or 30. Yeah, top Warriors over 31. So they have 100 IO on them now. Is it enough to catch? I don't know, because they are now cracking the top elite nutty keys. And then that's going to require, they're now planning cooldowns based on pulls and stuff. So not a lot of people will want to switch over to the Paladin unless it's absolutely necessary. But in the end, I do think Warrior will still maintain the title, but I think Pally's going to be right there in second. If you have any questions on this, as always, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Pally's going to jump that much, or do you think it's going to stick behind Demon Hunter? Just go B tier. What's your conception of where this is going to go? leave a comment and try and enjoy the rest of the day and the maintenance.